It's safe to say Stardew Valley reinvigorated the cozy gaming genre, albeit cozy gaming is kind of a catch-all term for a broad genre. But as a cozy gamer, if someone were to ask you what kind of cozy games you play, you'd probably say something like, oh, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. When I asked Google what the definition of a cozy game is, the ever so trustworthy, never wrong AI response stated, cozy games are a video game genre that are generally relaxing, wholesome, and non-violent, and don't include stressful challenges. They often feature cute characters such as anthropomorphic animals or childlike humans who participate in simple activities like farming, gathering, growing, and nurturing. Cozy games also commonly have open-ended goals that encourage self-expression. As you probably know, Stardew Valley was made by solo developer Concernedape, also known as Eric Barone. And long story short, it took him 4 whole years to get the game to a point where he felt confident enough to release it to the public. It could easily be said that Concernedape repopularized the farming sim as we know it today. It's widely known that he took a lot of inspiration from the Harvest Moon series and made it his own by adding his own little twists, taking elements from Harvest Moon that he liked, fixing elements that he thought needed to be expanded upon, and really embellished the overall story and secrets hidden throughout. And after years and years of dedication, he really made an outstanding game that resulted in millions upon millions of downloads. This eventually made major game studios realize just how lucrative cozy farming games can be. So we've seen a major influx of cozy games with farm sim elements releasing over the past few years, to the point where now the farm sim market is oversaturated, overwhelming, and redundant. With games like Fae Farm, Tales of the Shire, Coral Island, Dinkum, Super Zoo Story, and the works, nothing seems to really stick. None of these games seem to have the staying power of Stardew Valley. Cozy gamers alike are tired of the same old repetitive, cash-grabby, rushed farming games and are on the lookout for the next big thing in cozy gaming. And who better to reinvent the genre than the creator of Stardew Valley himself, who's currently working on his next big game, Haunted Chocolatier. The cozy gaming genre needs reinvention, original ideas, new concepts, and I believe Haunted Chocolatier is going to be exactly what the community is looking for. If we take a peek at the official Haunted Chocolatier blog, which as of now sadly has not been updated since 2021, he answers the question, is the gameplay similar to Stardew Valley? By saying, in some ways, yes, but in many ways, no. Like Stardew Valley, Haunted Chocolatier is another town game where you move to a new town and try your hand at a new way of living. You'll get to know the townspeople, achieve your goals, and make progress in many ways. All of that is similar to Stardew Valley. However, the core gameplay and theming are quite a bit different. Haunted Chocolatier is more of an action RPG compared to Stardew Valley, and instead of a farm being the focal point of your endeavors, it's a chocolate shop. And in another interview, he said, the combat in Stardew Valley is rudimentary and very simplistic. So I thought, what if I made a game that was like the mines in Stardew Valley, but fully fleshed out and done really well? All the bells and whistles that I would like in a game that has combat, but also exploration and resource gathering. As we can see from the screenshots and trailer footage, Haunted Chocolatier is going to be similar to Stardew Valley when it comes to art style, but it is most definitely not going to be Stardew Valley 2. Personally, I'm really glad Concernedape is stepping away from the farming sim market and reinventing his brand as a solo developer. It could be so easy for him to use the same farming formula as Stardew and we would probably still eat it up and play it. But he's taking a risk in making something so different conceptually, which I think is a really good call and honestly, really exciting to think about. In an interview with Screen Rant, he said, setting the stage for the haunted aspect allows a lot of room for creativity. With Stardew, people are going into the game expecting a country setting, so it would be kind of weird if it was super magical. But if you're going into the game knowing that it's a haunted castle, I have a lot of wiggle room there to add crazy stuff. And I think it'll fit within the theming of the game, so it won't feel out of place. And I, for one, am so eager to see what kind of wild things he adds into the gameplay and story. I just know Concernedape is not going to hold back on the absolute weirdness in Haunted Chocolatier, and I am so looking forward to that. If you're an avid Stardew Valley player, you know just how strange some of those cutscenes can get. And apparently that's Concernedape holding back on the weirdness to keep things more realistic to the countryside. Ah yes, normal countryside activities like astral projecting with my crystal mommy neighbor, tripping on a mysterious forest liquid with the local wizard, drinking the green-haired lady's tea with a little creature sitting upon my teacup, helping my talking raccoon neighbors rebuild their family by running silly little errands for them. You know, just farmer things. Concernedape's Stardew Valley is beloved for many, many reasons. The game is only $15 and goes on sale quite often. The world is huge. The storyline is amazing. It has one of the most satisfying gameplay loops out there. The music just simply hits different. The replayability is endless. There are countless little secrets to discover. And almost a decade post-release, the game is still receiving major updates at absolutely no cost. Concernedape literally recently tweeted that he swears on his family name that he will never charge money for a DLC or update for as long as he lives, and to publicly shame him if he ever violates this oath. With this philosophy in mind while he's developing Haunted Chocolatier, it's almost impossible to fathom the game not being even more successful than Stardew Valley. I think Haunted Chocolatier will beat out Stardew Valley when it comes to downloads and selling copies by a landslide. And that is a big feat, as Stardew Valley has over 15 million copies sold. But I think Haunted Chocolatier will have a much wider appeal than Stardew Valley. There are unfortunately many people who refuse to give Stardew Valley the time of day because they have the mindset of, oh, that's a girl's game, or you can't win the game, or farming games aren't real games, whatever that means. But that's not even going to be an argument with Haunted Chocolatier. The game is going to have no stereotypical farming elements, and it's going to have a big focus on combat. Anyone who even dabbles in video games will want to try this one out, especially if it's not going to break the bank like Stardew Valley. I know some people refuse to try pixel art style games in general because of personal preference, but you know what I have to say to those people? Grow up! Kidding, but not really. Concernedape has such a recognizable musical and art style that I think we can literally call it Concernedape core. You know it's real when you get your own core. People can try to replicate Concernedape's games all they want, but they will never achieve the true Concernedape core aesthetic, because only Concernedape can do that. And that's the beauty of solo developing. I'm really glad Concernedape is remaining a solo developer for Haunted Chocolatier. That way he will never settle or take shortcuts to meet deadlines for other people. He took 4.5 years to get Stardew Valley to a place where he felt confident enough to release it. And I think the scope of Haunted Chocolatier is going to be way bigger than Stardew Valley, so I imagine it will take a bit longer for this game. Even though he's more experienced as a developer now, he's been working on Haunted Chocolatier since 2020 and took a very long break to work on Stardew Valley 1.6 this past year. So he's been working on Haunted Chocolatier for approximately 3-ish years. There hasn't been any major updates on the development process for a good while now. It's been almost a full year since he last tweeted anything substantial about it. But if there's one thing I've learned about Concernedape from watching his career, it's that he likes to work in silence. I think once fall rolls around, we might see some more updates about the development of the game, like screenshots, music, concept art, etc. Last year, he was tweeting little sneak peeks of his work pretty regularly, so here's to hoping he will feed us again this fall. Once Haunted Chocolatier finally does release and the secret sauce of what Concernedape has been cooking is finally revealed, I think we will see a similar thing to what we're seeing right now. With solo developers and major studios trying to replicate Stardew Valley's magic, we're kind of already starting to see Haunted Chocolatier-esque games starting to arise. The most prominent example, in my opinion, being the upcoming game Chef RPG. If you compare some aspects of the two trailers, they seem to be very similar. And this is not me trying to crap on Chef RPG at all. I think it looks like a really interesting and fun game that I would be eager to try. But you can't deny the similarities here. I believe we're going to see the same uprising that we saw with Stardew Valley with Haunted Chocolatier after its release and success. And then we just have to wait for another game to reinvent the genre. If you're interested in keeping up with everything we know about Haunted Chocolatier so far, I have a series on my channel where every October I cover all of the news that's been uncovered each year since the game's announcement in October 2021. So feel free to check those ones out and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Like I said, there hasn't really been much new information at all about Haunted Chocolatier this past year because, you know, the major Stardew Valley 1.6 update and whatnot, but I'm still holding out hope for new information later this year. As of filming, the Stardew Valley 1.6 update is still not out on console or mobile platforms, so I imagine he probably doesn't want to show off any work on Haunted Chocolatier until all the ports are figured out and settled. So here's to hoping that Stardew Valley 1.6 gets ported to consoles and mobile sooner rather than later, so that we can maybe see some glimpses into the world of Haunted Chocolatier again. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think Haunted Chocolatier's impact is going to be on cozy gaming. Do you think it's going to outshine Stardew Valley? Or is Stardew Valley just such an enigma that it's too powerful? Please let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to read them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!